All right, so I think our next transition we're going to be jumping into. Are we going into?
I was going to say, what are we going into?
We are going into the Dalmore Constellation 1972. Again, single cask. They do sometimes do more than one release of a specific year. I think they did 2 of the 1972s. This is the first cask. The bottle we've got here is pretty cool. We've got got a great relationship.
Quick question:
with,
what was the
Dalmore.
difference between the casks? Were they like different finishes? Or
Different single cask. No, there should be. These ones
probably
aren't
just
finished.
in different parts of the warehouse or something.
As far as I'm aware, I mean the Constellation ones aren't finished.
Oh, really?
They are just exclusively aged. So, I mean, most of them again are second fill sherry casks, mostly Oloroso.
Okay.
I mean, Dalmore, they haven't done a huge. Well, I mean, they use a lot of different finishes now in their core ranges.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the King Alexander's got 7 different casks in it.
Yeah.
Whereas the
which is
the
a
old
beautiful
ones,
whiskey, by the way.
which is very good, really approachable, dangerous.
Yes. Too
A
easy
bit like
to
the
drink.
Balvenie 21 with that pork. Anyway,
Oh.
I digress. But yeah, this is the first release, the 1972, in the Constellation.
And signed by Richard Patterson
Yeah.
himself.
The Constellation range was released in 2012, and it was originally sold as a set. And in that set was 21 bottles of basically the best of what Dalmore had to offer. This one, actually, it says on the back here, this is bottle number 81 of 119. I mean, that's 119 bottles for the whole of the world. It's not much.
And now, so we were here the other day when a gentleman came through and picked up the brand new Dalmore 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so we just happened to be here, right place, right time. And
Don't tell me he opened it.
Oh, no. Well, it was all pulled out. Got to pull out the big cases. The whole presentation was just unbelievable.
It was probably the best presentation I think I've seen of any bottle of whiskey.
Yes.
It was completely over the top, but absolutely amazing attention to detail.
Good question, though, actually. What do you guys think about presentation? What's your stance on presentation?
I'm very indifferent about it.
Yeah.
I'm extremely indifferent about it. I think that their company, a company like Dalmore, will definitely jack up their prices with, just like that extravagant presentation that obviously goes into it. The Dalmore 50, when it came in the crazy crystal decanter. I mean, obviously they want to make it something so cool for you to have. That's the whole purpose. But then you go into like the Glenfarclas range, where you're getting the most absolute best whiskeys,
And it's just a plain bottle.
and it's just like, here you go. We know what you want. You're gonna drink this.
Exactly.
And that's, I don't know, like.
I do agree. I mean, there's 2 distinct markets. There is the drinkers market. There is a big gift market. There is a collectors market. And I mean, Dalmore, I think, were pioneers in the slightly more elaborate packaging and the presentation. Obviously, they started that with...
Hence what we're getting into.
Exactly, yeah. And they all come in amazing boxes. And when they started that with the Dalmore Trinitas, which they released, I think, around about 8 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And that still holds a record as the most expensive bottle of whiskey ever sold at £120,000. They only made 3, hence the name Trinitas. And so from that point onwards, they have released more. Next we're going to chase the Aurora, which was the 45-year-old. Again, same sort of bottle, amazing packaging. But what we're here to find out is, does the liquid match up to the packaging?
Totally.
Okay.
And that's...
unfortunately, we're not going to crack open a bottle. We have a little sample vial here. But special all the same. Right. Fresh glasses, I think.
Yep. You got one.
There we go. Okay. Make sure I don't pour them into like a water glass or something.
Dorian, you're going to want to have a little bit of this.
Do you know what? I'm going to just...
Okay, so
I know. I'm going to let it... I'm going to let it breathe.
Make sure this...
Oh, you want to let it breathe? Okay, go ahead.
We're going to have to come back to this.
Whoa, did you just spill the drop? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Right, and this is yours, huh?
Yes, that's my one. Yeah, just finish it off. Might as well. There's not much in there.
Amazing.
We are getting every last drop out of this one, I can tell you.
That's what you call your money's worth.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, worth mentioning as well. See if we've got a bottling date on here. I know it's a 39-year-old. So yeah, we're drinking 39-year-old single cask, 1972. Which is pretty cool. Okay.
Hang on, I'm just going to give this to our producer over here. Go easy.
So in regards to colour, it's got a nice sort of, it's got a nice golden
This is
hue.
39 years old.
I'm just going from the bottle.
I'll leave you.
It's got a nice golden hue.
Well, you can
so-
immediately see that it's a darker colour than the previous one from the Ardbeg.
Yeah.
More influence here from the sherry cask, which is what Dalmore is known for. You know, here we're looking at.
What do you know what sherry it was? What kind of sherry cask was it? Pedro Jimenez or Oloroso?
If it was Pedro Jimenez, it would be a lot darker.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain it will be Oloroso.
Yeah.
You know, there's
That packs a punch.
'Cause I do know Richard Patterson has got a little bit of a thing nowadays for, I believe, Methuselah sherry cask.
Yes, absolutely.
you know.
I mean, that in comparison, that is Pedro Jimenez.
Very
cask.
true. Yeah.
So
yeah,
obviously,
that stuff would
this
be-
is significantly younger and significantly darker.
Yeah.
So that's Pedro Jimenez, really sweet type of sherry. The sherry itself, you know, tastes like Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas pudding, sultanas, prunes, caramel, coffee, chocolate, and that's what you get with these, with the cask finish on this one. So definitely, I would stake significant money as Oloroso.
Now, this one's coming in at 47.5%, which you can definitely get on the nose.
Yep.
You know, just coming from the other Ardbeg to this one now is just, that extra little bit is just so, it's such a that punch I love.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's natural cask strength.
This is, it's got a lovely sort of, it's very rich. You can tell it. You can just tell that.
Such exotic fruits to this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
It's
You get like pineapple to it.
gonna say
Pineapples and
tropical-
coconuts.
Yeah.
definitely moving towards that tropical style, and I think even it's not almost blasphemous, but
Go on.
it's got almost like a bourbon character to it on the nose.
I can totally.
I know what
see
you
where
mean
you're going there.
because of the coconut. I think
Yeah.
because of that
That
tropical.
American oak, that
Yeah.
chardness, but I mean, it's obviously not. It's Scotch, so it's not going to be charred oak, but. And I don't think, and obviously it's a real common practice now in Scotland to age your whiskies in bourbon casks.
Yeah.
I mean, partly of that to do is the cost of bourbon casks. You know,
They're much cheaper.
it's absolutely. I mean, you can buy a bourbon cask for around about $100 US, because you know the laws in to make a bourbon it has to be a first fill charred
Yeah.
barrel, so you can only use it once.
Yeah.
And these are
so
coming
there's-
from their own casks that are just like
Yeah.
true to their.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, this again, back in the 70s, I don't think that they would have been aging. It wasn't common practice to use bourbon casks.
Yeah.
Sherry also, the sherry casks are used less now because of the cost of the cask.
Yeah.
I mean, the cost of the cask now with sherry demand dwindling, there aren't as many sherry casks in the market. The demand for whiskey is going up, so you end up paying, I think, now around about sort of €300 for a sherry cask compared to
wow.
say $100 US for a bourbon cask. So that's why you get a lot more
then-
bourbon casks
And that
now
way
than
we're
you do
just talking
sherry.
about the sort of run-of-the-mill sherry casks as well.
Yeah.
Not even the sort of like,
Yeah, not
you know,
the sort of sought after producers.
yeah, the
that
sort
some
of
people are looking
producers
for.
that everybody wants and everybody's looking for. So
Right, back to
You know, the longer it stays open,
it's just, yeah,
it's just growing.
it's
on me.
evolving. It's just evolving as you just let it sit there. It's just, so now I'm getting like a really sort of rich Demerara sugar.
yeah.
It's so funny because I remember that smell from the other day. I was at home. I cracked open, you know, a new bag of Demerara sugar. I was like, "Oh,
I forgot this was actually sugar and not whiskey. Yeah, you just associate that with whiskey now.
just associated with whiskey." I'm like, "Oh, I remember that smell."
Now you'll see selling your Demerara sugar smells like whiskey rather than your whiskey selling Demerara sugar.
All right, boys, I'm going in for a
Are you
taste of
going
this
in?
one. Yeah.
Oh God. The silence is good. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah.
Those tannins.
There's a really sort of tangy sort of like
Oh, yeah.
apricot peach thing going on. I don't know whether it's apricots or peach.
I'm getting the apricot for sure.
But it's almost like a plum. Because you know when you get that sort of tanginess from the plum,
Yeah.
but it's, you know, it's very fruity, but it's very sort of tangy. There's something that's giving it this really nice tangy
And
flavour.
I think that the ABV, the having 47, you know, cask strength, it just has that power. It takes that power If it was 40%, I think it would end up being almost.
wouldn't-
It would just feel a little bit flabby.
Yeah.
Whereas it gives it, it's like acidity in wine almost. That ABV. It gives it structure.
Yeah, I'm almost feeling like just sucked all the water out of my mouth for sure with this one.
Oh God, I wish there was more.
Oh wow, this is really, really.
And again, I mean, weightier on the palate than the Ardbeg 17.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can definitely feel that weight and that oiliness, which didn't get with the Ardbeg, I think, again because of the lower ABV.
I'm literally just smelling the vapors, and they still smell good. Just the vapors smell good. Just there's nothing there, but it just smells beautiful. It's
like one of those whiskeys that I've only had a few that just like float on the tip of your tongue, and it just is so light and mellow. And even for the alcohol percentage of this one, it's just one of those like cloudy kind of whiskeys, just sitting there floating and getting those like flavors rolling off the tongue.
I could smell that. I could just smell this empty glass. Literally all night.
I mean, this is the thing about.
That's how you know you're such a whiskey nerd, is that you just will sit there after you've drank the whiskey and you just sit there smelling the glass.
I mean, that is half the product, isn't it? Like, the smell of it is half of the experience. So you can just sit there,
Actually, I think
smelling.
Realistically, it's a bit more of the experience because you're getting more out of your nose. The aromas from this are just, you can smell more than you can get on your palate. So
that was awesome.
That was very good. That was very, 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 very good. I'm going to leave that next to that one, so at least I know where I'm going.
Good thing we recorded this, so we can just go back and watch.
Relive the experience.
Relive the experience.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Perfect. Where are we here?
So we're now moving onwards.
We don't have a bottle of this because it's that rare.
Yeah, I was doing some research earlier, and I was trying to find, what the current price for this might be. Couldn't find out anything really. I mean, it last sold at auction in 2014, I think, 2015.
Okay.
It was about 8,000 then. Released at 3,500 in 2010. They released 200 bottles. It's a 45-year-old. The only other thing that they've released anything like it was they released 30 bottles for Singapore duty free in 2014 of a 45-year-old, and that was sold for 24,000 US.
Wow. Okay.
So, put an arbitrary figure on it, it's probably these days 17 to 20,000 pounds. So around the same price as the previous bottle, but I mean, it just doesn't exist. So I think we're being really spoiled there.
Yeah, this is
right.
yeah.
We need 4 glasses here, don't we?
Just the one will do.
Yeah.
It's my glass.
Agreed.
Happy wedding, happy video. Let's say good luck.
You got to remember, this whiskey doesn't exist.
So
you can't find this.
You can imagine this sort of.
In terms of the stats on it, again, this is Oloroso cask.
Just the color.
But the color is darker.
Now we're going back into that Glendronach color.
Yeah.
Wow.
This needs to open up a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Straight off, I think I'm predominantly getting just the oak influence. I'm pretty sure, given a little bit of time, the rest of the character of the whiskey is going to show itself. I think also straight away the viscosity of it, you can see that it's a little bit. I don't know. It looks.
The
thicker.
legs are extremely slow right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is, you think about 45 years sitting in a cask, every year you're getting evaporation, so it's becoming more and more and more concentrated, more and more and more viscous.
Look how slow that's moving right now.
Yeah.
Stop getting away further.
I mean, it's a beautiful colour.
It is.
It's got sort of slight auburn, mahogany, just
I'm just waiting for those notes to start
nutty.
coming through.
Just no bit. I mean, so whereas the previous one we were talking about fruit, and we weren't really talking. We didn't talk about caramel. We didn't talk about chocolate. We didn't talk
No,
about
not at
nuts.
all.
This is completely different.
Yeah, this is completely other. This is
And I think,
completely other direction.
You know,
so.
this is a key example of how different, even though it's made from the same distillery and the same method, how different the styles can be from cask to cask. Obviously, this is 200 bottles, so
Now we don't know what the percentage on this is, do we?
no.
Like it's strong, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's have a guess.
I'm gonna go in with maybe. Well, it's Dalmore, so I want to say like under 50.
Yeah, I mean, I think given its age,
Yeah.
it's going to have to be relatively low. I think 45-year-old, you're talking maybe around the 45 mark.
Yeah.
I've just given it
46.
a very small taste because sometimes that helps in regards to actually trying to get some more of what's going on. But still, I'm getting this very nutty, very, very nutty. There's fruits in there, but, you know, red fruits. I'm guessing some, you know, a few berries.
Oh wow.
It's so rich in flavour. And see now that
That to me,
Yeah.
I prefer that to the previous.
okay,
It's intense. It's focused. It's that nuttiness is like hazelnuts.
Yes.
So much right now.
Praline sort of milk chocolate. I mean more towards the dark chocolate. Touch of that. It's like
This is
mocha.
definitely- yeah.
Mocha.
this is it's because you can smell like that. There's a as I've just nosed it again. It's more sort of like there's a small. I mean, I wouldn't even know what coffee bean it is, but there's a coffee bean sort of note just wafted around.
It's
in there.
so
It's
intense.
Really,
Of the three, this is the hardest one. This is like such a pack to
Yeah.
the mouth.
it's clouded. It's clouded
Yeah.
in mystery a little bit. So
This is
it makes you wonder whether a drop of water will open it up or ruin it and make it go really woody, really oaky, really
No, I
nutty.
love this.
I'm going there.
Are you going there? Because I don't.
I don't know.
I'm slightly sort of like.
Come on, I'm never
So
going to have this liquid in my glass again.
Very true, but I want to unlock its flavour a little bit more. I want to unlock what's going on with it.
I might put one drop. In fact, I'm going to.
I think you know what, I'm going there with you.
Because this is the Whisky Gents, and we do things a little bit crazy around here. And we
Okay,
try
I've just put
crazy
in one
whiskeys. And I'm going to do this one drop. Bam. Living on the wild side, guys.
Okay, I'll put one drop in it, and just straight away you can smell the difference.
Yeah, go on then.
Now, it's absolutely unreal how just one single drop
Yeah.
of water
Yeah.
Just change the character.
changes the whole chemistry of this whiskey.
You bring down the ABV. You're just unlocking some of the flavors. You know, obviously, what you lose is some of that intensity.
Because this one feels like it's a bit higher than what we were drinking with this guy, and this
Yeah.
one's still at 47. So
You know, it can always depend on just even the position within the warehouse.
yeah,
Yeah, true.
Will completely change. How fast it's aging, the intensity of the flavors.
I'm getting a lot more of the fruit, like the dark fruitiness to it now.
Yeah.
It was like myrtle, like the like
Myrtle.
it's like blackcurrant.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like hedgerow.
I know what you mean. I know exactly where you're going with that.
It's the most silent talking.
I know.
Last 40 minutes.
This is so
I'm still
complex.
trying. It is so complex. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm kind of like, is that aniseed? Is
It's
it like a
a
little
puzzle,
bit
but yeah,
licorice?
I
or-
want to figure out.
There is-
It's
everything
not a bad
about
shout. I mean, there's a herbaceous nature to it.
There is a herbaceous nature to it, for sure.
I like the aniseed idea.
It's like a very refined cognac,
Yeah.
almost on that sense. And when you're going to that level of those like much older ones, yeah. Just such a dry, nice, balanced finish. It's just like, oh, what is this? I'm getting like a hint
Very
of.
nutty. Oh, wait a minute. I've got a slight sort of menthol note there. That was interesting. It's a little bit minty.
Yeah,
I think
There was something really minty in there. Just as the finish, it was like
so, like spearminty or like eucalyptusy or
probably
that-
eucalyptus.
Yeah, it's like that herbal nature.
So that was That was unexpected.
I just know I'm trying another drop in there.
Oh, please tell me you haven't ruined it. Please tell me you haven't ruined it.
Dalmore Aurora. Unbelievable. I mean, you know, to wrap this up, this is probably like one of the coolest whiskeys I've ever tried. Yeah, thank you so much for like bringing us into this and like letting us try these whiskeys with you.
Absolute pleasure. You know, what an honour. Honestly, it's not every day we get to taste one whiskey like this, but to have tasted three is pretty cool. You guys can come whenever you like. I mean, it's a good excuse to open up.
Hey, we'll come back as much as you want to have us. We'll come back and do this on a regular basis if we can do more of these things. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
So on that note, my name is Nick Harborn. I'm with the Whisky Gents.
Luke Colyer, Hedonism Wines.
Christopher Beccan, Beccan.com.
Cheers, and we'll see you next time.